Now then, I'm going to go through another one of my Foundry showcases for Curse of Strahd, just showing you what I've done with Foundry in my own campaign. Tonight, in this video, I'm going to be showing you the Gates of Barovia. So this is a location from the book that is one of the first fantastic sights you get. It's got really over-the-top art. Like the official art for this just doesn't fit in with the rest of the book. It's so grand in scale. It's like always reminds me of like Dark Souls, like the Undead Berg, just enormous structure. But it's always a really cool moment that is just a bit of a neat bit of art, and then they carry on. So this is a map by the Mad Cartographer, who went through and did a Curse of Strahd themed month, and they mapped out loads of locations from Curse of Strahd that didn't have official artwork. And this is a really good one of the Gates of Barovia. So it's part of the Svalich Road path that comes round and heads through the gate, and this is where you head off into the rest of Barovia. If you know the module, you'll know there's two sets of these gates, so you could mirror this. I know the Mad Cartographer did a few other variants where there's, like Blood Moon Lighten and, different sort of effects to let you differentiate between two maps. So what did I do with this in Foundry? I put a fog effect on, as you can see, using FX Master. I also put on a Flying Crows special effect. I find people really overdo that. Like, if you're in the Wizard of the Wines, or if you're with, like, the Martikovs in a fight in the woods with all of their crows, I can get why you'd have the density slider set to maximum on crows. I've got this set to density of 1, but the size of the crows made maximum. So you very occasionally get a large crow flying over. And if you're playing like any of the popular Svalich Road ambience tracks that are out there, they have obviously a lot of crows and bird calls in, so that can work really well. In terms of walling, I've put invisible walls for ledges. I've put invisible walls here. Now, it's up to you. I think some people would go and put terrain walls here, so players can't see through the walls. But I also know that the gate is open in the book, so you can kind of see through anyway. So it's up to you. If you wanted to block line of sight, you could absolutely make this terrain wall, and they'd see the wall, the scale of it, but they wouldn't see what's on the other side. That's very much up to you. What I've done here, I want to give you an example of what I like to do when there are raised ledges. So as I've mentioned in previous videos, if there is a bit of wall that requires a climbing check or an athletics to get up, or if they take fall damage if they fell down, I always like to make an invisible wall so players just can't move themselves up and down it and be like, yeah, I'm jumping down here. Well, actually, that was 30 foot. Not this map, but you just jump 30 foot, let's roll damage, and then they want to roll it back, retcon things. So I like to have invisible walls. What I've started playing with is what I've done here with these 2 layers of terrain walls. Now, you might have been in a situation like this, where you have a player who is, or an enemy who's up high, taking shots at players, and then moves back, and players decide to shoot back, and they're not sure, well, would I be able to see him if I'm down here and he's up there? So what I've started doing is putting 2 layers of terrain walls. Now, I've gone in and I've changed each part of these walls to have movement restriction none, so players can move through these terrain walls. Remember, you can see through 1 layer of terrain wall, but your vision stops if it hits a second layer. I've used that to show, basically, I don't know what the proper term for it would be, but their visual range based on the ledge and the overhang. So someone down here can see who is at the edge, but once it goes back enough in terms of mapping, once it hits that second layer of terrain wall, they can't see anymore. So they can't see who is further up the ledge. That can also be good if your players are just going along. You might not have you might start a combat here, or you might just have the players going through on foot. I love having a combat map load up that doesn't have any combat, because it makes the players think, oh god, what's gonna happen, and nothing happens. I just like to kind of mess with them sometimes. So here, if they can't see the whole map, if they are just seeing that ledge, they might get worried. They might start using familiars to go up there, or they might split the group and have a ranger go up and look. And it just gets your players doing things. Better than you just saying, yeah, there's a big gate. I'm going to read the book description. It's very big. People do a couple of history checks. Guess we just carry on our way, and you're just going, oh, they're getting to the village of Barovia much quicker than I thought they were going to. It just can flesh things out, especially the fact that you're likely to get this early in the campaign, because this is a very, very early location you come to. Your players are low level, so your characters are low level. Your players might not know each other very well. This is a fun, interesting map to throw at them to get, even if it's just wolves or a couple of zombies. The players might learn about, oh, if I get up here, if I climb up, the player who's up here, when she's quite far back on the ledge, she can't see what's going on down here because she's really far back. Once she comes up to the edge, she can now see down. That can help your players, particularly new players, get to grips with things like their action economy. Yes, you can move forward 10 foot and fire your bow, and you're still able to use the rest of your movement to move back out of sight. Or if they don't, and a skeleton archer gets them because they didn't move back, well, that's a lesson learned about movement. So yeah, not a big complicated map or location from the book, just a map I liked. I meant to put, but I find conflicting sources, a text box here, just reminding me how, one of those hidden note boxes I talk about on other videos, just to remind myself how high the walls are. If you are a new DM, DMing can be really difficult if you're new to it, because in addition to learning the module, you might also be learning the rules of the game. So on ledges, on maps where there are things like big obvious ledges someone might fall down, there's no harm in you making a little box reminding yourself, 30-foot drop. This is what I'm going to show. 1d6 bludgeoning damage per 10 foot after the first 10 foot, I think, is fall damage. I've been DMing for years and I don't even remember. So I might put that in there and put the opacity to fall. I don't know why that red didn't come. I don't know why I thought I'd set that to be red. I've obviously misclicked that. Let me go back in. Fill. Color is red. Okay. Update. I'm going to make that invisible. I'm going to lock it so it's in place. And then there we go. My players won't see that, but it's a nice reminder for me that this is a 30-foot drop. I might put one on here you'll see on official D&D maps, Mike Schley has the thing with the little arrows for every 100 foot. Yeah, really fun early game encounter map that is a location I think is often overlooked from the book. As ever, comment, let me know what you think, what you like about it, what you don't, what you use this map for. I'll put a link to the Mad Cartographer at the bottom where you can get all these Curse of Strahd maps. Really good stuff. But otherwise, thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.